do thought I'd do a live stream and do some flying of 747 in Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm in director mode, so that there's no interruptions or whatnot. And so yeah, let's get started. Make sure the music is turned off. Mirror goes up. We are gaining altitude. Climbing. I really wish this plane existed in online, GTA Online, but I think the reason it doesn't, two main reasons. One, it's so big, and two, there's no visual way to get into it, because most of the aircrafts in GTA Online, the door or hatch to open and you climb in. The 747 in this game has no interior except for the cockpit, so you kind of glitch into it, and I guess they don't want to do that for online. If you're just joining me, I'm just doing some 747 flying in Grand Theft Auto 5 story mode. We are climbing, gaining altitude, left from LSIA, and we are just going to fly, see where the sky takes us. I love 747s, I really do. They're pretty much obsolete today, they're not really used anymore, aside from some airlines use them sparingly, and of course they use them for Air Force One still. Other than that, I've never flown on a 747. The largest plane I've ever flown on was a DC-10. I love 747s, I really do. As the YouTuber 74Gear says, right, blue side up. Keep the blue side up. Referring to the readout on the panel that shows where the sky is and where the ground is. Okay, we don't want to disappear into obscurity, so we're going to make a turn. A little bit of yaw and a little bit of rudder movement. Now, if I had passengers on board, this kind of maneuver would not be acceptable because it's too far of a rollover. A rather older model of a 747. The newer ones have, I forget what they're called, the jagged edge engines to allow for less noise inside. The new Air Force One is a much newer version of the 747, and they were able to have more floor space. And I'm guessing that the new Air Force One would be more comparable to the movie set from the Harrison Ford movie, because when they did that movie, the set of the interior of the airplane was bigger than reality, to make room for the cameras and just to make it look cooler, I guess. So I'm guessing the new larger 747 is much more comparable to that movie set than the older 747 because it looks like a big aircraft from the outside. When you're inside, it's really cramped, especially on Air Force One, where you have all these like an office and different rooms. Again, turning over too much for, I don't know how many passengers on board, so don't have to worry about that. Maybe a nice tight turn. When the game first came out, a friend of mine said, why does this game have a 747? Because, you know, you can literally fly across the island in a minute. And I said, I don't know, but I don't care. I love 747s. Grand Theft Auto 4 really had no flying, aside from like helicopter that you could swan in from a cheap. I was not a huge fan of Grand Theft Auto 4 because of the lighting. It just looked like a foggy day in London throughout the entire game. Much prefer Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or Grand Theft Auto 5. Looking forward to GTA 6. I wonder what kind of aircraft they're going to have, what kind of vehicles they're going to have. I remember how excited I was when I saw the book for Grand Theft Auto 5 that it had a submersible. I thought that was so cool, because there's never been like an underwater craft in any GTA game prior. Love to own one of these in Grand Theft Auto Online and change the livery, because I love the my favorite livery for the 747 in Grand Theft Auto 5 is the Fly US, but you take what you can get and it's hard, you never know what's going to spawn. But if you own one, you can put whatever livery on you want. Kind of like how I wish I could buy a boat in Red Dead Online. So hard to get a boat in that game. We are pretty high up. Really is a beautiful aircraft. I'm glad they added it to the game, even though it was never really used in story mode. I think Michael boards one to go to North Yankton. If maybe it was a 737, I don't remember. But yeah, it's never really used in story, but it's just so cool that it's in the game. I know that on PC you can mod, and you can actually put the Air Force One livery on it, which is mad cool. I don't have a gaming PC. I know some of my friends who I used to play Grand Theft Auto with are now playing on PC, and they want me to join them, but I don't have my gaming PC. Not a big deal. I much prefer on console anyway. I'm so used to it. Again, I wish they would add this plane to online. I really do. The largest kind of aircraft you can own that's similar to this would be the Miljet, and that has an interior. You can hold I think 16 people. It's got regular airline seats, the same kind of seat that Michael sits in when he boards the plane for that same mission where he goes to North Yankton, the same kind of seat. So that the Miljet interior is pretty much a passenger jet. It just has the military markings on the outside that I wish I could remove. The Miljet is pretty close to a 737, maybe a little smaller. I do enjoy the Miljet. I haven't flown that online in quite a while. Flying over the LMLC. I'm gonna turn more realistic way now. As if I had passengers on board. Not gonna turn the wings, just gonna use the rudder in the back to turn. Because you don't want the customers, you don't want the passengers to be uncomfortable. You don't want to be turning over too far. So you basically just use the rudder to turn for a passenger aircraft. Keep the passengers comfortable. You don't want a bad Yelp review. It's a much slower turn, but it's more suitable for having passengers on board to just use the rudder. I used to do this challenge where I would fly up to the northern tip of the map, cut off the engines, and then at a high altitude, and then just basically glide to LSIA. Not a recommended method, but I think we're gonna attempt to land at LSIA, but I don't want to descend too steeply, like I would online or normally. Do a little slight realistic maneuver. Turn this way so I can make a wide turn. Slowly descending. Start to make my turn. Pretty much on target for the left runway. Putting the gears down. Gonna release the throttle and just kind of mosey on over here. Not using the brakes yet. We'll just line up more. And now we're gonna brakes. Nice landing. Stay on the runway. And that was a decent landing, if I do say so myself. See how dirty the plane is now compared to from all the wind and atmospheric crap. When I started the video, the plane was clean. Game may be 12 years old, but that's cool. That's neat that it has that little detail. Yeah, so that's my 747. Let's go around the aircraft and take a look at it. See, these on a more modern 747, they would have like a jagged, the ends of the engine skirt has like a jagged shape to allow for quieter inside the cabin. None of these doors work. If they were to add this to online, it would probably only have one functioning door, and it would be the left side front door, not this one on the other side. Like this door on the other side, I'll show you. It would be this door right over here. How would you get up there is the question. I guess maybe a ladder would descend or something. They'd have to come up with something that you can ascend up to the door, and they'd have a little bit of an interior, maybe a passenger area, and the staircase going up, so that your friends could get on. You could probably hold up to 20 people reasonably in terms of the limits of the physics of this game. It'd be neat if they did that. Again, I don't know what kind of airplanes we're going to expect in Grand Theft Auto 6. I know that it primarily takes place in Vice City. Florida has some nice big airports. I guess the only time the 747 is really used in a story is when the poor woman gets sucked into one of these engines in the Devin Weston's hangar. Pretty gruesome scene. A lot of tires, massive gears. I feel like I'm an actual pilot, and I'm just inspecting my aircraft before I board. Actual airline pilots probably don't have time or the luxury to do this because they have a whole crew of people doing this. More kind of a thing that a fighter pilot would do, inspect his plane before he takes off, or like a private jet pilot taking a look at his airplane before he takes off. Yeah, I love 747s, I really do. Beautiful aircraft. It's sad that they're not really a thing anymore. Maybe I'm just longing for nostalgic things, but you know, because things change, technology changes, and not really much exciting about a 737. They're used constantly now. You know, they have different versions of them. They don't call them 737s, they call them Airbuses and all kinds of different terms that they have for them. But it's basically a 737 if you were to fly somewhere. Nothing really majestic or interesting about a 737. Yeah, I love this aircraft. I really do. Let's take off again. I'll show you what it looks like. Well, I mean, you saw it in the beginning of the video, but see, I just kind of glitch in. So I'm gonna press triangle right now, and I glitch in. And I'm guessing they don't really want that online. They don't want that kind of. They don't want a vehicle that you have to glitch into. I mean, sometimes if you're in a car, turn that on so you can't still into the left. If you're in a car, if you're in a vehicle like a car online, and the doors are all blocked, you know, like say you park in between two cars and you can't get out, you will glitch out. But I don't think Rockstar wants a vehicle that you're going to glitch in and out every time, and that's the way in and out of it. Another thing I wish that Rockstar would do is add personal docks, because they have the icon for story mode, you know, where you can buy a dock. I'd love to be able to paint a boat. Whether you do that at your dock or at a new location where you bring your boat into one of those, over by the Merriweather dock, they have those docks with the, you know, the covered docks. Maybe they can make a new location where you can paint your boat. I just like boats, I guess. The Titanic will do this. I do love boats. It's so hard to get a boat in Red Dead Online. I just wish there were more boat options in both Red Dead Online and GTA Online. They haven't added, GTA Online has not added a boat since the long thing, which was like 2-3 years ago. I do like the tugboat. which was already in the game. They just had to make a drivable version of it. There's at least 3 tugboats on the map that I know of. There's 2 in the in the docks over by Merryweather. There's at least 1 underwater. I know there's probably more than 1 tugboat wreck. There's 1 kind of towards the military base that I know of. Gonna need to refill the barf bags because I turned over too far. I got the car wash business so that I could buy the helicopter tourist business, because you got to buy the car wash business first because that's your main area for collecting money and stuff. All I really wanted was the helicopter tourist business so I could do legitimate helicopter tours with the special livery helicopter. All these new jobs that they're adding, like the forklift job, I haven't tried that yet, but I want to. They should add a airline pilot job, and finally add the 747 to online. When they made the switch from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, and they changed things in GTA 5. One of the things that they did was they got rid of all the drivable or flyable 737s. The 737s that are on the map are just decoration. They're not flyable. Another thing really annoying that they did change from PS3 to PS4 is they removed the air conditioner at Trevor's the kitchen, I guess you'd call it, the meth lab. In the old PS3 or the older consoles, you could break the window and use the AC to climb into the upstairs area. And so all they did was they just removed the AC. You can still see the water damage from where the AC was that went with the AC, so that's still on the wall. You can technically get into that building with like a fire truck. It's just a pain in the ass that you have to do extra effort to do it. If I could have any aircraft or spacecraft in the game, of course it'd be the Gemini spacecraft, but this game doesn't have space. But it would be cool to see a rocket launch in Grand Theft Auto 5 or Grand Theft Auto Online. Or maybe more like the Mercury Redstone, the suborbital. I do know that I looked it up one day that the sky height limit in Grand Theft Auto Online / Grand Theft Auto 5 is lower than the maximum altitude of the first American space flight, which was just a 15-minute suborbital flight. But anyway, it'd be cool to have a Mercury Redstone rocket where you launch and do a slight little, you separate the capsule and the capsule lands on the ocean, Not exactly a space flight, but it'd be fun. Let me land this. More traditional way, screw safety. Descend. Go down. My previous landing was a slightly realistic version of a passenger airline landing, but this is just me landing the aircraft of the video games. Doing a more traditional way that I would do it. Okay. Might not be the conventional way to land an aircraft in this game, but that's how you do it when you need to. Yeah, so that's me flying a 747 in Grand Theft Auto story mode, director mode rather. Um, Again, this way I have less distractions and I have more freedom to change the weather or whatever. Anyway, so that's that, and I'm going to end the live stream now. And if you're watching, thank you, and have a good day. Bye.